DOL spoilers say that Rafe and Ava are both held captive in Blake's house and forced to rely on each other to escape. Their love story is quite complicated. They were once together, but due to many conflicts and the influence of the people around them, this love story was broken. However, when going through a life-or-death crisis together, being captured, tied up, and having to cooperate to survive, is there any chance that Rafe and Ava will reunite? Little does Brady know that at that very moment, Ava is indeed unable to respond. She has been taken hostage by the shadowy woman in white, who is strangely connected to events swirling around Salem. Ava, immobilized and alarmed, finds herself tied to a wheelchair in an unfamiliar room. The surroundings are unfamiliar and foreboding, and the woman who holds her hostage is unwilling to reveal her true motive. The only certainty is that Ava's life has taken a frightening detour, one that started quietly but now barrels toward a life-altering confrontation. As if the situation weren't precarious enough, Ava soon discovers she is not the only hostage in Blake's house. In another wing, or perhaps a dimly lit room down the hall, Rafe Hernandez awakens from a drug-induced stupor. Dazed and disoriented, he struggles to piece together how he ended up there. One moment, he was going about his duties, perhaps following a lead on someone's suspicious activity. The next, his senses blurred as an unknown substance coursed through his veins. Now he finds himself stranded in the same ominous location as Ava, with no immediate plan for escape. Their captor, known as the woman in white to some, and rumored to be connected to the extended Black family, has orchestrated all of this in tandem with E.J. DiMera. The details of their agreement remain murky, but the end result is the same. Ava and Rafe are at their mercy. Tension thickens in the air as these once romantic partners come face to face under the most harrowing of circumstances. While E.J. DiMera is no stranger to devious plots and complicated alliances, even he seems taken aback by the severity of the woman in white's plan. Rumor has it that E.J. believed he would only have to handle Rafe, drug him, drag him around Blake's house to keep him subdued, and perhaps negotiate some twisted deal. However, during one fateful moment, E.J. turns around to see none other than Ava Vitali bound and helpless. Shock flashes across his face. This is far more than he bargained for. Before he can intervene or question this development, the woman in white confronts him, making it clear that she has full control over the situation. Now E.J. faces a dilemma. If he steps out of line, he risks the wrath of a powerful, calculating figure. If he follows orders, he becomes complicit in a potentially dangerous plan that could have lasting repercussions for all involved. The question looms: where does E.J.'s true loyalty lie? Will he protect himself first, or will a twinge of conscience lead him to liberate Rafe and Ava from this eerie prison? Complicating matters further is the long, tangled history between Rafe and Ava. Once upon a time, they shared a fragile romance. Ava was determined to prove she had left the criminal world behind and genuinely wanted a fresh start. Rafe, at the time a devoted public servant in Salem's police department, tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. Their connection, however, was undermined by suspicions, misunderstandings, and the machinations of others. Gabby Hernandez, Rafe's own sister, was notably vocal in her attempts to derail the relationship. Nicole Walker also found herself dragged into the drama, illustrating how quickly rumor and speculation can turn once promising love stories into heartbreak. Despite the friction and an eventual breakup, there always seemed to be a lingering question of what if for Rafe and Ava. Now that they find themselves isolated and under the same roof once again, those buried emotions could resurface. There's nothing like an intense hostage situation to push people together, challenging them to rely on each other for both survival and emotional support. Could being captives ultimately lead them back into each other's arms? From an outsider's perspective, the likelihood that two former lovers would randomly end up in the same hostile setting might seem astronomical. But in Salem, fate, and a few manipulative schemers, has a way of drawing people into improbable scenarios. As Rafe shakes off the last effects of the drug in his system, and as Ava steels herself to remain strong, their best hope lies in working together to flee Blake's house. Overcoming locked doors, possible guards, and the cunning woman in white will be no small task. There is also another player to consider. A certain imposter who once posed as Rafe, referred to by some as fake Rafe. This imposter, known by an alias that linked him to the Hernandez identity, recently left Jada Hunter at the altar. Whatever illusions Jada had of a perfect life with this man have vanished. Now the rumor mill suggests she may move on sooner rather than later, leaving the real Rafe with no one waiting in the wings if and when he returns. Even if Rafe and Ava find freedom, their ordeal may transform them in unpredictable ways. Adversity can forge unbreakable bonds or reopen old wounds. Will they cling to each other for comfort in the aftermath, or decide they are better off parting ways for good? A second chance at romance, or an ill-fated reunion? If there is one thing longtime fans know, it's that Salem rarely grants anyone an uncomplicated happily ever after. Even if Rafe and Ava emerge from this nightmare unscathed, they must face the reality of life outside captivity. Their past is marked by betrayals, heartbreak, and outside interference. None of that vanishes overnight. Still, there's no denying the potential for a fresh start. Their captivity might stir up dormant feelings of admiration and trust. Perhaps the forced proximity and the fight for survival reignite the spark they once had. The complicated question is how they would handle meddling friends, suspicious family members, and the formidable influence of those lurking around every corner in Salem. Then there's the matter of the woman in white and E.J. DiMera. No scheme in Salem remains hidden for long. Will the truth about their agreement emerge? Will Brady, Nicole, Gabby, and the rest of Salem's residents find out who was behind Ava's disappearance and Rafe's abduction? Justice, in this town, can be swift and poetic or painfully elusive. One moment, villains find themselves in custody. The next, they have weaseled out of charges or struck a deal that leaves them free to scheme again. Only time will tell how the chips will fall for EJ and his mysterious partner. Anticipation builds every day that passes, intensifies the tension. Friends and family of Ava and Rafe are growing anxious, sensing something is amiss. Brady, concerned about those strange text messages, might enlist help to trace phone signals or piece together clues about Ava's whereabouts. Others could start to suspect EJ's involvement, given his penchant for morally gray activities. Meanwhile, the woman in white remains an enigma, her motives hidden beneath a veil of secrecy, her actions tinged with a desire for personal gain or vengeance. For viewers following each twist and turn, these precarious circumstances usher in a compelling question. Will Rafe and Ava escape together, forging a bond that could be stronger than ever? Or will their harrowing experience expose too many old grievances, ending any chance of lasting reconciliation? The excitement lies not just in the unfolding rescue but in the emotional fallout that inevitably follows such high-stakes drama. What comes next? As the drama escalates, fans can expect shocking revelations, tearful confessions, and at least one sweeping declaration of romance or heartbreak. Even if a daring escape allows Rafe and Ava to break free, life in Salem will throw them back into a web of conflict. While captivity might force them to confront buried feelings, freedom could remind them why they walked away from each other in the first place. Still, there's always hope in the hearts of those who believe that adversity can heal old wounds. Rafe may see a new side of Ava, someone brave, protective, and determined. Ava may rediscover the sense of stability and decency she once admired in Rafe. When the dust settles, Salem might witness these two forging a path forward as partners, both in survival and in love.